Hi, in this video we will have a look at how to access OpenAI API via Power Automate. So here is a site for the OpenAI. First thing you need to do is create an account with OpenAI. Then select the API menu. Then here under your profile you can see view APIs here. Okay, using the create new secret key, you should be able to create a new key here. At the first time when you sign in, you will get a $5 credit. Then afterwards, you need to buy the credits. So here I have already got a key which I created it. Let's go back to Power Automate now. So for the demonstration purpose, I'm going to use the manual trigger. Okay, the first thing I need to do here is to define the API key. Okay, this is my Open API key. Okay, the next thing I need to do here is I'm going to delete this API key after the demo. Okay, so the next thing I need to do here is I need to go and find the documentation of the OpenAI. Okay, so under here I am looking the completions. So let's go back and find the completions documentation here. Okay, so for creating a chat completion, you need to access the API using this link as a post http://api.openai.com/version1 chat completions. Okay, so let me copy this. I'm going to use the HTTP action step here. Right, now under the header, to access the OpenAI, what we want to do here is we need to pass the authentication here. So for that, under the header, we need authorization. Then the bearer token we need to pass, BEARER, bearer, space, then the API key, which is the output of that compose. So either you can hard code it here or you can pass via a compose action step or a string variable. Okay, make sure there is a space between that. The next thing we want to do here is the content type. Okay, the content type is application/JSON. Right. Now we need to construct the body then. So the scenario I'm going to talk about here is I have got an XML file. I'll show you the XML file, how it's going to look like. So the XML file is something like this, adding a compose action before the HTTP step. It's called the name as XML data here. Okay, so that's XML data I got. So in the real scenario, this data might be coming from another API endpoint or a database or from your Excel sheet or from a flat file, so it depends. So here I have hard coded that XML file. What I want to do is I need to pass this to chat the OpenAI and then have a conversation with the OpenAI saying that I need to get this data in a JSON format. Okay, so for that, first thing we need to do here is we need to construct the model here. Okay, so for communication to the OpenAI, we need to say what model we are using. So here I'm going to use GPT-3.5 Turbo 0613. You can look the documentation. It will say what are the models out there. Okay, the next thing I need to do here is the messages. Okay, so the messages, what I need to do here is, that's an array. Messages is an array. So there are two parties under the messages here. Okay, one is, I'll put this the body, the formats under my video description. So the first one is the role. So role of the system. So here I'm saying to this is defining the ChatGPT system actually here. Okay, and the content also. So content. Okay, saying that you are my assistant, or you can name it, name the the system. So that's what this is. So you need to define the role as a system there. The next thing is the role for the user actually. Okay, so that's the user. Then content. Okay, so in the content, as a user, we are going to specify that, hey, I got an XML file, I want to convert that into an XML into a JSON format, right? Okay, so for that I'm going to put two double quotes. Inside that I'm going to put the chat text basically. So I'm going to say, hi, could you please format this data into JSON format. Okay, that's the first thing we'll do. But how does it know what data it is? So we need to pass the data here. Okay, so for that I'm going to say here is the data. Then I'm going to use a start tag here, right? Square bracket, start text, then pass the XML data. That's this data, we need to pass it here. So I'm going to use that output. Here it is. Then and oops, put it in the wrong place. Okay, and space text, full stop. Okay, so when you try to give this plain text, try to give it more elaborate, so that means you will get more accurate result actually. So let's see this, and let's see this result, what we are going to get. Okay, let me save this. Oh, it says enter a valid JSON, so something not quite right here. I think, yeah, I know what it is. Double quotes here. Save it again. No. Okay, I forgot. I got one additional double quotes here. Okay, let me save it. All right, so let's test this. Oh, that's failed. So I think I messed up the model. Let me have a look. GPT dash 3.5 dash, oh, it's turbo, spelling is wrong there. All right, okay. So let's see what we get. Right, okay, see the results then. Click on the show row output. Okay, so here you can see, here it says certainly here is the formatted data, and then it says okay, let me copy this in a notepad, that will be easier to identify it. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so this is the result. See that under the choice, under the body, then we get choices, and that's an array, and then index is 0, then the role is an assistant, then the content, it says certainly here is the data formatted, and then we got persons, we got the data there. But also it said, please note that I assume that the data representation a list of persons, so I have encapsulated it in an array within the JSON object. So that means it did some assumptions there. Okay, so the best thing we need to do here is I'm going to fine tune that text again. So this text, the ideally what I want to do here is I'm going to use a sample output and show to ChatGPT saying that, hey, this is a sample output, I would like to have it. Okay, let's construct that sample output here, what we want. So another compose here, rename this to sample JSON output, and I would like to have that person name be age 65, I don't age 48. It should come up something like this actually. Yeah, this name can be anything here. I can put here something like this. It doesn't matter. So that's kind of a format I want. The person, that's an array, then name and age, name and age again within that person tag. Yeah, that's a JSON format I would like to have it. Okay, so for that again we need to fine tune this. So what we need to do here is I'm going to say here, I'm going to say something like, when you return the message content, I only need the JSON formatted result. And then at the end also I'm going to say like I mentioned above, only return the JSON result with no additional text. Remember, we got that additional text earlier here. See that? These are the additional text which I don't want. My plan is I could then directly get the content as a JSON format, then I can use in the next step of the flow then, yeah, to iterate those values straight away. Otherwise, I need to do some work here to remove this these extra lines which I have no control over. Yeah, okay, with no additional text. Then at the end I'm going to say, here is the sample JSON output I want. Then I'm going to put a square bracket, format, then get the sample JSON output format there, and then again close the format. Remove this double quotes here. Here it is. Let me save this. So see, so I'm giving maximum information here to the OpenAI, saying that, hey, I got an XML file and this is my start tag and text between that, that's my XML file. Then I set my clear instruction saying that I don't need any additional text when I get the result, and this is kind of a format I'm expecting it. All right, let's run this and see the result. Okay, so click on the show row output here, and again I got here, sure, here is a data formatted into JSON. Okay, so that's, I don't want this. I don't want sure here is a data format into JSON here again. Okay, let me go back and see what we could do there. All right, let me run it again and see. Yeah, it's gone now. See, it's pretty weird actually, but I was suspecting that should work at the first time. So I don't know what happened there. So it's worked. See that? I got the right result I want. So let me copy this schema here. I copied everything under the body. Then go into the new step and say pass JSON. Map the body of the previous output of the HTTP, generate from the sample, paste the record here. That's where I can generate my schema then. Then under the combos action step, so let me take you back to this here. So under that, see the body here, then I got choice, that's an array, and that's my first index is 0. Then I want the message and the content. So I'm going to use the expression here for that. So the expression I'm going to use here is this. Let's explain that. Body of the pass JSON, choices is my array, the first index that is 0, then the message and the content. There we go. So rename this to, content. This is a final content we got. Yeah. Let me run this. All right. Okay. Let's see the content then. Here it is. See, because I given the sample format, exactly the sample format way it did given me the data, which is fantastic. Now edit again. Oh, let me go back again here and take that schema so that I can iterate those values and show you. Okay, I'm going to copy that. So use another pass JSON in the last step and iterating the name and the age again. Okay, that's output coming from the previous content. Now this is the record we copied. It's okay, that's generated the schema now. Then finally I can use a combos to get those values, which is name. I don't want to add another combo, so I'm going to put some ... and then age. Here it is. So let me run it. Okay, let's see the apply to each what we got. See that name and the age. The second one I got that. Also I got the data in the format which I specified it. So that's my sample data which I converted that into the JSON format. Yeah. Of course, Power Automate can do this, in different techniques. You can do an XML to converting that into a JSON format. And that's not the objective here. The objective here is how to access the OpenAI using Power Automate. So a quick refresh. All we did here is put the post, then the chat completion object with the authorization as the bearer and the token, then the model, to use that. So another thing what you could do here is I'll quickly show you. There is another reference here like image generations here. So if you look the images, you can see, oh, you can create an image using this. So let's see this then. So I'm going to copy this, going back here now and use, well, I don't need to run this now. So let me, let me do it here now after the API key. So I'm going to add it here, HTTP. This is another method I am showing. Okay, and for that it's a post. Then it says that's the request URL. And let's look the documentation here. Then it says authorization and the bearer token. We need to copy it. So let's go back to here. We already have those. Let's click on the T sign here. We can copy everything easily. That, yeah. Let me go back here and click on the T again and paste it here under the header. Click back. Here we go. That's it. And then going back here and see what else we need. Oh, we need a prompt. That's in the body it goes. See that? Okay, let's copy this. And there are other parameters also here, like you can pass the n equals 2, means you get 2 pictures, and also the size you can define it with different resolutions. The maximum resolution, the default one is 1024, and the maximum image it can generate at a time is between 1 to 10, things like that. Okay, so let me go back to the body and copy that. There it is. Okay, let's try this now. Okay, let's try a different picture then. A cute baby tiger. Let's see. I don't want to use two, then I'm going to use 1 there. Only need 1. Okay, let's see then. Let me cancel that. I don't need to run the below step. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use a terminate action step. Make it succeed. Okay, so that this won't run then. Okay, so let's see what we get. Right, so according to the documentation, we should get a URL with the image URL. That's what we should get. Right, let's see then. Okay, here it is. So there's a URL here. I'm going to copy that, go to new tab, press enter. Here it is. So that's the picture, that's the image I asked, and that's the way you can generate it. Then of course, you can use another HTTP to download that image and store it in your database and all that. I'm not going to demonstrate that. So here under the API reference, there are other things also. So have a look on fine tuning, which is quite useful to know. And then the files which you can upload. I need to make some more videos about this. So stay tuned. I will make more videos about how to upload a file, how to retrieve a file, and what are the data you can get from that. There are quite a lot of things you can do with this. At the same time, there are stages like in Power Automate, there are some of the things you can't do it. Then you can think like, okay, I might be able to achieve this through OpenAI platform. And that's a whole idea about showing this how to access OpenAI via Power Automate. Thank you for watching.